The first thing I'm going to show is not a birthday present. It is my Molly Klein design, oops, I just dropped a skein. March mystery skein set. She's doing Disney this year for her mystery mini skein sets. And this, if you remember, February was Beauty and the Beast. This is Little Mermaid. So I really wanted the Little Mermaid ones, and I love them. So let's see, here we go. This one is Ariel, or Ariel, as my boyfriend says. You have to say it like Sebastian. And then we have Ursula, which is perfect. And then also Sebastian, which is a great Sebastian color. And very subtle, but I love it. Flounder. And, oh yes, this is another subtle one. This is Scuttle. He's the seagull. I almost couldn't think of that. And then this one is just called Under the Sea, which is just a very pretty under the sea seashell-y kind of colors. So those are my my Little Mermaid mini skeins. And for April, her Disney movie is Toy Story. So I have ordered those. So they will be coming about mid-April. So I will show you those when I get them. I might do something like a big, like Dust of Snow Wrap or an Advent project with these mini skeins, because I just think that would be kind of fun to have all the Disney, you know, and be able to say, oh, this is, you know, like name the characters when I'm wearing it or whatever. So I might look for a nice, like big mini skein project like that, or I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I might just do some kind of like simple cowl that just stripes all of them together and you make a big tube. Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works and the Stranded podcast just did one with hers were smaller mini skein sets, but I could do multiple things with them perhaps. So I was pretty excited that those came. Let me get this skein of yarn that dropped. Okay, so for my birthday, my boyfriend took me on a yarn crawl. We went to 3 local yarn stores, I guess. They're all in Salt Lake. But they're far enough away that we don't get there often. So the first one we went to is, it's called Knit and Pretty, and it's in, I want to say South Jordan. I get the Jordans mixed up. Anyway, I'll have a link to it down below. All 3 of the stores have websites, so I'll link to their websites down below. And one thing my boyfriend said before we even went on our yarn crawl was he wanted me to look at maybe some tools or something, not just yarn. There have been some needles that I've wanted, things like that. So he kind of wanted me to look at my options for those types of things and see if there was anything I could get like that. So I have wanted a set of ChiaoGoo interchangeable needles for a while. And when we went to Knit and Pretty, they had a whole wall of ChiaoGoo needles, but I didn't see that there were any interchangeable pieces or parts or anything. So I was kind of looking at getting just a fixed circular set of ChiaoGoo needles. Apparently a lot of the shawls and stuff I use take size 5 needles, because every set of 5 tips that I have are on something. So I was going to get me a set of 5 fixed needles. And the super nice lady that was working there said, oh, well, we have interchangeable sets. I'm like, you do? Let me see. So they had some of the smaller sets and they had some more complete sets, and we ended up with a set of the 4-inch, I just had the bag. These are the 4-inch ChiaoGoo Twist Red Lace interchangeables. This was way more than I expected to spend on a set of needles, so that's part of why he wanted to get it for me, because that makes it like extra special. What I love about this set is, one, it's got tons of needle sizes. It goes from a US 2 all the way to a 15. The 15s are in the round hat right now. And my 5s are on my changing staircases shawl. I told you I need the 5s all the time. So that's like a huge range of needles. They have the small and the large set, so you have to have different cables for the small needles and the large needles, which is fine because it just means that the large needles don't have to taper quite as much to accommodate the larger cables. And with the 4-inch tips, I can get 16-inch circulars. So I can do hats and bigger projects, shawls and sweaters and stuff with these. So, and they came with 4 cables for each, 4 small, 4 large. And it came with the cable connector for each, and the stoppers for each, and 2 keys. So it's an extremely complete set of needles. And I was using my Knit Picks Platina interchangeables, my 16-inch set, so the 4-inch tips, on my Changing Staircases shawl, because I don't know. Oh, I think my other size 5s are on my Free Your Fade shawl. So, and they're just not as sharp as these are. And with the lace section, apparently that was slowing me down a lot. We went to breakfast after we went to this, went to Knit and Pretty, and so I put the ones together because that was my car knitting, was the Changing Staircases shawl, and I started using them, and it was a world of difference. Quality good tools makes a huge difference. I am so thrilled to have these. I'm glad to have my Knit Picks ones as well. Either for backups, or if I was just doing stockinette, the tips on those would be totally fine. It was just with the lace sections, the extra point on these was amazing. And one of my size 5s is damaged. Knit Picks has offered to fix it. I just need to send them pictures to show them the tips like blunted off, so it's extremely not sharp, and it's scratched all up, so it makes a grody noise when you're like when they touch each other when you're knitting, like when you insert your stitches, which I don't like at all. Anyway, they've offered to fix it. They're going to send me a replacement. I just need to send them a picture. So anyway, oh, I love these needles. And my in the round hat, because I use size 11, 13, and 15s for that hat at different times, and I've just been able to switch the tips, and working on the metal is so much nicer. I was using bamboo before, and I'm not a big bamboo fan. I need the extra slidiness of the metal. So I'm already in love, and I'm thrilled, and I've thanked him several hundred times for these needles and let him know how much I love them and am grateful for them, because like I said, they were way more pricey than I would have ever, like I would never have asked for that needle set, because it was more than I would expect anybody to pay. And I got a ton of yarn too. So from Knit and Pretty, it was, like I said, the first store we went to. The first thing Rob saw was this beautiful purple. It's the Yarnberry, which is a local dyer. She's from Salt Lake. And it's in her Old Man Fezziwig colorway from her Christmas Carol. So it's a Christmas colorway, technically. And I love purple, and this is a beautiful purple, and it's a great purple for me. And the shop owner, I wish I had remembered or gotten her name so I could give her credit, but I'm apparently not handy like that. She said that you couldn't. She said, and there's that beautiful gray that coordinates with it perfectly right next to it. And it does. The purples in this gray are a perfect match for the purples in this. Some of them are a little more like kind of fuchsia-y, but even still, they're a perfect match. And this one's Arwen. And then just because he loved it, my boyfriend decided I needed another color, and I didn't realize until I got home that it completely goes with these. And I guess not fully completely, because this one has some, you can see those a little bit, I think those yellows and a little bit of oranges and the reds, but it still looks awesome with these 2 colors. So, and I had a swatch of my wedding dress fabric with me, and it just so happens that these colors go amazingly with my wedding dress, and I believe the way it goes, this will be at the top, and then you'd kind of interchange the colors, and then this one will be the bottom border. So the purple won't even be fully like touching my purple dress fabric exactly, even though it's the right tones and everything. So I think that'll work out really well. And this is what is going to be my impressionist shawl. So I need to get to work on Tabitha's dress, but I am very anxious to get these caked up and cast on. Oh, and this one is, I didn't even tell you, it's Misselthwaite, which I'm not positive the reference on that. I probably should have looked, but these are all on her classic sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. But yes, this will be my impressionist shawl by Helen Stewart, and I am so excited and so thrilled. So those actually had a semi-purpose. The two, the gray and the purple, we figured would be part of my shawl, and then I said, like, I got home, when we got home, I'm like, oh, this dark really goes well with them, so I think it'll be in there too. And so that made him super happy. This one is a Ella Rae lace merino. It's a small fingering, I guess, is what they had said. Not quite a lace. It calls itself lace, but it's not full-on lace weight, and it's 100% wool. So, and it says it's a size 2, which is a fingering weight, so. But Rob just loved the colors of this one, so he said I needed it. I like it, so why not? This one is a Manos del Uruguay. 30% silk, 70% merino, extra fine wool, kettle dyed. This is a 50-gram skein, approximately 150 yards, so it's more of a DK weight. And it's just really pretty. It was on clearance. And this colorway, oh, it's Farm Stand is the colorway. Oh, I didn't tell you what the other colorway was. Oh, it doesn't have a colorway. It's colorway 116 Denim Teal Violet. So this one's Farm Stand. Just a pretty DK. Like I said, it was on the clearance table, so he said I needed it. And then the last one we got from there, which was kind of funny, it's another Wonderland Yarns. This is in their Queen of Hearts sock, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, so an MCN. Feels awesome. And this one is Out to Sea, and it looks a lot like the Under the Sea from my Molly Klein design. But it's just a pretty skein that he thought I needed. That's how we get we pick a lot of yarns. He says, nope, you need this one. It's pretty. So I get it. Then we went to breakfast, and then the next shop we went to was Blazing Needles. And they are carrying a lot of like the rustic wools. They have Quince & Co. They have Brooklyn Tweed. They have, I can't even think of all the brands, but a lot that I've heard of that people are doing a lot of like color work with and things like that, which I'm not there yet. I haven't even made my first sweater or adult sweater. So, but they had a huge wall of Malabrigo. And, so I wanted some, I'm kind of trying to get a little bit more like DK weight yarn. So we went for the Malabrigo Arroyo, and he loved the Chameleon, which again is that, it's very similar to the merino that we got at the other place, but very pretty. And to go with it, we got Cyan. Pretty turquoise. So I think those will be beautiful together in something like a 2-color shawl is what I'm thinking. Oh, and he got me a cute little like stitch marker tin. You can never have too many, and they have like the light bulb stitch markers, which I love, those little safety penny things. So I can keep this in one of my bags. You can never have too many little notions thingies in your bags, can you? And then the last store we went to is the Wool Cabin. And I got, this one was on clearance too. Apparently it's an irregular. It's by Round Mountain Fibers. Their entomology collection. This is Dragonfly, which I just think is beautiful. Like I said, it's an irregular, but this is their fingering weight. 100 grams. Hand dyed in Vermont, grown and spun in the USA. I like that. Yeah, slightly imperfect. It's 100% superwash merino. But I loved those colors. And it was an awesome price because it's an imperfect one. Oh, this is another Malabrigo Arroyo, and it is in the Archangel colorway. They had a buy 4 get 1 75% off, so I needed a 5th one to get my 75% off. And that's what this one was. So it's kind of a standalone. I didn't really have anything else to go with it, but I love this colorway. I think I have this in 2 different bases. I have a lace weight and I have a fingering weight also of the Archangel that I bought like 5+ years ago. This one is a Plymouth Reserve fingering, 70% superwash, fine merino, 10% cashmere, 20% nylon. And it's just pretty. Turquoises, purples, greens. It's called Cobalt Reef. It's just a pretty one, really soft and squishy. My boyfriend loved this green, so I had to get this one. This is Tosh Merino DK. I don't believe I have any Madeline Tosh in my stash. It's a DK 100% merino wool, and he loved this green. So I'll just be seeing what I've got that might go with it, or get something to go with it, or it'll just sit here and be pretty and it'll figure out what it's supposed to be. And then this one, it's another Malabrigo Arroyo, and this is in the Plomo colorway, and it's kind of that dusty pinky gray, and I had taken my skein of Stranded Dye Works in the, I can't remember what the colorway is called, Winter Sun or something like that. That's not even it at all. Anyway, this matches fairly well with it. I wanted something to go with it, to be like a shawl, because I love that color, and I think this is going to be beautiful with it. So I'm excited to have something to go with it, so it has a purpose. I should have grabbed that other skein so you can see. And then kind of a splurge that he freaking loved is this marinated yarns, and they are local dyer. This is their MCN, so 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. They're Perfection mini skeins. This is called Racing Silks, and he just loved these colors. They had some of them worked up in they had 3 of them worked up in a 3-color cashmere cowl by Joji Locatelli, and he just loved those 3 together, and it was like this one, and this one, I think, or maybe it was just these 3. No, I think it was this, and the turquoise. But they also had another shawl worked up in a more gradient type set, and that's the pattern I want to do with these. We wrote down, I was writing down, I had my phone keep open, and I was writing down the patterns at the stores that they had samples of as we were going through, and I went through and favorited them all in Ravelry. So it's kind of a lacy shawl, which these don't, and it could have beads, but I don't see me doing beads with these colors. I don't know that they lend themselves to beads the best, but they're fun, bright, kind of rainbow. So I'm kind of excited to have that fun multicolor shawl, and it should feel awesome being MCN. Let's see. So I was really excited about that, and that was kind of pricey because it's MCN, but he insisted that I needed it. So that was all the yarn I got from my yarn crawl. But then as part of my birthday, Showreel Studios did a big 50% off clearance to get rid of, or to clear out their colors for their spring colorways. So I went onto her site, and he let me spend a certain amount on yarn there, and so these were all half price, which gotta love half price. And I had seen these ones, these are her Femme Fatale set, mini skein set. This is her Anti-Valentine's. I guess it's not your average Valentine's mini skein set. So these are all, they are all animals that practice sexual cannibalism, that after they mate, they eat their partner. And I don't remember what they all are. I know this is a black widow, and this one is an orchid mantis. One of it's some kind of octopus. Anyway, I think they're beautiful, and I love the concept of them, that they're the kind of anti-Valentine's. So that's just a fun mini skein set that I really wanted. I love this color. This is her 100% superwash wool worsted weight. This is the Mariana Trench colorway. This is the only worsted I got. This was only available in worsted weight, but the navies and greens and stuff in this are just beautiful. So I really wanted this colorway. There's some cat fur on here. Most of what I got was DK. Yeah, this is Delectable DK, 100% superwash merino DK, and this one's called Look Up. Just a pretty light blue. For the price on these, I just kind of went with if I liked it or not. So, this is another DK, 100% superwash merino. It's called Fake News. I thought it was more black and white, but it's got these blues in it. It's still really a pretty color. This one is one of my favorites, and I wish maybe I'd gotten more because I do like it. Another 100% superwash merino DK. It's called Bad Penny, and I totally see the coppery and the like dirty coppery in here, and I don't know why this brown is really just like calling to me. I really like it. This one, another DK, is Beyond the Blue Light. So that's really fun, and I think they had this one paired with Fake News, which I don't know if I 100% love those two together, but again, it's kind of the blues, the turquoises, teal jadey kind of colors. Very pretty. And then she had a sock set that I thought was fun, and I want to learn how to knit socks, and the price was really, really good on this. And this is called Nacho Mama's Yarn, and the coordinating mini skein is called Salsa. So I thought it was really funny, and I think that would be a really fun pair of socks for nachos and salsa. So I had to get that. And then one of the colorways that made me want to go to her site and even look, and these are different dye lots, which is fine, but it was only available on her Stalwart sock, which is 75-25 superwash merino nylon fingering weight, and it is called The Schnozberries Taste Like Schnozberries, and that is a reference from what is that movie called? Super Troopers. Holy moly, which we find hilarious. So, and it's purple, which is quite appropriate. They're, like I said, they're very different colors, but I think they'd be really fun to almost like fade together or something. So, I think that's how I'll use them, as two different colors, but they do coordinate because they have the same, like the blues that are in there are the same blues and purples. It's just they're, like I said, different dye lots. It happens with indie dyers. You can't get the same exact thing twice, and my two just happen to come from different dye lots. So, but they coordinate great, and like I said, I think they'll do well with a fade, or I'll use them as two different colors in the same project, I think. So I was pretty excited about that. And so those are the yarns I got from Showreel Studios. So if that wasn't plenty of yarn, I also bought some commercial yarn from Joann's. I want to make a Saturday morning sweater by Trista Molino, Dragon Horde Yarns. It really it's a Aran weight, and I bought some yarn for that. I think my yarn was like $30, so $30 for a sweater I can totally handle. It sounds like a good beginner, like, first sweater project, so I really want to cast that on right now, but again, it doesn't have a deadline, and I have deadlines. I also got some yarn for the Afghan that I want to make for the baby in July, and I really want to cast that or start that, it's going to be a crochet. It's a 12-point round ripple or something like that. I'll share the pattern with you when I get started. I've made 2 of them already and I really enjoy working on it. It's a very, I mean, it's double crochets in a ripple-y, so I mean you kind of have to keep count, but it's very I want to say like monotonous, but it's more like therapeutic. It's just very potato chippy. You're just going, and we got some cakes, I think they're Lion Brand cupcakes, so they stripe, self-striping, which is nice. The 2 I've done before, one I did with a self-striping, which was nice. The other one I did intentional stripes, so that was a lot of ends to weave in, which I don't love. So, oh, also for my birthday, I got, my sister took me to My Fair Lady. I'd talked to you about that before. My mom got me a photo box, a light box to take pictures in. So I'm really excited to take pictures of all my yarn and get it on my stash on Ravelry and have a place to maybe take some finished object photos of like my hats and stuff. So I really need to get that set up and get playing with that. I've had it for 2 weeks and I haven't done anything with it, which is not acceptable. I wanted to wait to photograph my yarn until I showed it to you guys, and that's just silly. I got some money, which I'm really excited about because I want to try a subscription to Blueprint, which is like online crafting classes. They have some knitting classes I want to do. They have a sewing, like a tote bag sewing class that I really want to take. And one of their classes is like $40, and the year subscription is $80, and you get 12 Own Forever classes, and then you get to watch their streaming content unlimited for free, so they say. So we're going to see about that, because there's some photography classes on there that sound interesting. There's just a lot of stuff on there that I'm excited about. I was just waiting until I had a chance to actually use it before I started. I want to get the most out of my year. So, yeah, like I said, I've got a lot planned, a lot on the horizon, a lot that I want to do. I did go through a bunch of my my totes, my Rubbermaid totes, looking for the yarn for Tabitha's dress. It was not in there, by the way, but I did find some other things, and I was able to organize some other things, put some things away. I have the cubby bins behind you guys. I got those rearranged so that my yarns are more visually, I can see them now. I put some of the less important stuff, I guess, down near the bottom where it's harder to get to because I have stuff in front of it. But if I don't need it as often, then it's fine that it's down there. I don't need to see it as often. So I've gotten a few tote bags out of the craft room. I've emptied them, put things away, reorganized things. So I'm pretty happy about that. Just have to keep going on that. I need to keep finishing and whatnot to get things out of my craft room, but one step at a time. And when you have an illness that sets you back like a week, there's not much you can do about it. So who knows? Hopefully we're getting it handled so that doesn't keep happening. I think that's all I have for this week. I've got a lot going on. I'm excited to get started on all of it, and I want to get started on all of it, not just the stuff I'm supposed to be doing, but glad I have a place to kind of keep myself on track for what I need to be doing. I like setting the little deadlines and having goals for each day. It kind of gives me priorities of what to work on in the evening. Instead of picking up what I might want to work on, I can pick up what I should be working on. And I want to work on all of it. I mean, I wouldn't choose these projects. I wouldn't give gifts to babies if I didn't want to make them. It's just, they don't always coincide with what I want to be doing like at that moment. So, and that's fine. That's part of why I'm here, why we're doing what we're doing. So, I know this has been a lot, an extra long episode. That's what happens when I go away for 3 weeks. And hopefully that won't happen again. And so we will see you next week. And until then, have a rosy ray day. Bye.